Hey, Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, John?
Good, you're doing my job for me. I thought it was my job to give Gary a hard time.
Now we have to give everyone a hard time.
All right, good. Across the board, I like it.
You are the host of the brand new show, IWitness. It sounds like a phone app. Explain what's going on.
Eyewitness is a game show that tests the powers of observation. So this is a show that was created by Judge Judy, and what we do is show contestants clips from all over the world and then quiz them about details that they may or may not have noticed. It's a very simple game to grasp and a surprisingly challenging game to play.
Wait a second. You're saying Judge Judy, that scares me, and two, it's simple. Right there, I could never be a contestant.
Yeah, be afraid, be very afraid. Look, history shows that eyewitness testimony is among the least reliable, and I think this is sort of a fascinating exploration into that question of what people notice, what they don't notice, and what they remember. Remember, these contestants are focusing on these clips, trying to retain all the details, and moments later, some of them are really struggling to come up with answers to these questions. So it's a very fun game to play. It's the kind of game that I think the audience can sort of vicariously play along at home, which is kind of the hallmark of any great game show, whether it's Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune. And it was a ton of fun, man. I had a blast doing it.
Did you just throw in Jeopardy? So this is like Jeopardy?
Jeopardy, I threw in Wheel of Fortune. I'll even see you Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh, my God. I'm even more scared. I need to see the show. I need to see it today so I could be a contestant somehow, some way, because I don't even know where my glasses are right now. And there's a picture of the room, and it's somewhere in the room. I tried it myself.
Well, listen, if you could figure it out, you can win up to $20,000, which is a lot of fun, man. There's nothing beats giving away someone else's money for a living.
Oh, my God. I love this. How did you get involved in this? Did they just sit down with you at a Starbucks of some sort?
You know what? I had the opportunity to meet with them on the show and do a little screen test for it. Obviously, you hear Judge Judy created something, and what's she ever done that panned out, right? That woman's fallen on hard times. So I figured I would pitch in, try to scrape together a little money for her because God knows we don't want her out on the street.
We don't. I think on top of this, is she going to be involved? Will we see Judge Judy next to you just telling people, just shut up, shut up?
If you do, you might want to have your glasses checked. She's not on camera in the show. She created it, but I did get a chance to meet her, which was a lot of fun. And listen, this is a lot of fun to host this show. Basically, other than the rules and the questions, the entire game is sort of improvisational. So there's a lot of back and forth with the contestants, and it's a lot of fun. It's airing 5 days a week, starting June 10th. And we have a 6-week trial run, and hopefully we'll be coming back next fall.
I'm sensing you're a little bit like Orson Welles. I think you're going to be somewhere in one of the videos. Tell me now so I can look for you.
Yeah, you think that it's going to sort of be like a Where's Waldo with me? It'll be a sort of a Where's Skunk Boy?
Right. I was going to bring that up. Are you still a skunk boy? Will we see that?
Sadly, I think now I'm a skunk man, and my white streak has creeped over the rest of my head, taking over as I get older. So maybe if I'm around long enough, I will actually have the inverse skunk stripe. It'll be an entire head of gray hair and one stripe of dark brown hair. That's what I'm going for.
See, I miss you on your other shows that you were on. You were one of the great people, one of the great hosts on all these game shows, and even Talk Soup, all of it. You should be on every night doing the nightly news.
Man. I Talk Soup, I felt like Charlie with the golden ticket. That was a lot of fun, and I've been fortunate enough to host some really fun and successful shows. Wipeout was, of course, a lot of fun. And I'm really hoping that Eyewitness is going to be the next chapter in that book.
Now, I'm just going to throw another show on another network. If you would ever be involved with the network stars, do you have any athletic ability?
I have actual negative athletic ability. My athletic ability is so poorly rated that it actually sucks athletic ability out of people nearby. I'm like kryptonite for athletic ability. That's why I never ran the wipeout course. I like it in the booth where it's warm and dry.
I was going to ask if you had ever done the wipeout. That I would have done just once, just to try it. I would have done a facial at least 4 times doing it.
Listen, the way I look at it is every day that I went to work for 7 years, I saw a series of very compelling arguments for never attempting that course.
So what do you think? All these game shows are showing up now. Some of these old game shows from the 70s. What has happened in Hollywood to bring back all these type of game shows again? Has there been a big shift out in Southern California?
Well, that's interesting. I mean, I think TV goes in cycles. You had the sort of rise of the primetime game show in the early 2000s with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and some of those sort of what they would call big black floor, shiny black floor game shows in primetime. And then, of course, there was the gold rush of reality TV, and now we're sort of seeing a resurgence of retro game shows and a revival of shows that we have seen before, shows like Family Feud, Match Game, et cetera. Everything goes in cycles. There was a time in the 90s where every network was rolling out 15 new sitcoms a year, and now those are few and far between. So I'm sure they'll come back. But this is fun. It's a new concept, and I think it's an easy concept to kind of get your arms around and understand the game, and makes it very fun to play.
I would think so. IWitness kind of reminds me of a news show. Maybe that's the takeoff here. We get some people involved.
I-E. It's little I, big W. It's
I don't want to throw people off because
millennial spelling of IWitness.
They're already Googling it right now. Because they're confused. They're going, who is this Steve guy? Who is this John guy? We must look him up, and we must look him up right now.
It's the grammatically incorrect spelling of IWitness.
Yeah, it's easier that way. It just is, because that's how I spelled it. So IWitness would be the other thing.
Yep.
So I think you guys need to have like one celebrity on there, like Regis Philbin, somewhere in the 6 weeks.
Hopefully we can get Regis, before
I could beat him.
He has glaucoma surgery or whatever.
I could beat him one-on-one on that show. Just saying.
Well, of course, that's easy to say when Regis is getting up there in years. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to tangle with Regis in his prime. He wants a piece of prime Reg. But maybe that's a good idea. Maybe if we come back next September, we can roll out a celebrity version of IWitness. That'd be fun.
Hey, I think this is going to be a huge, huge hit. IWitness debuts next week. I cannot wait to see it. John, it's too bad we didn't have you on years ago. We're going to have you back on and on and on. Before long, you're going to be a co-host of one of my shows.
Look, I would love that, man. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
John, thank you so much. We'll see you soon, okay?
All right, see you, Steve.
That is the entertaining John Henson. Next week, IWitness debuts on CW. That is Channel 50 right here in Chicago. 5 o'clock. That's when it's going to air every day next week on the CW. John Henson, IWitness. Go follow him on Facebook. It is John_Henson. Tell him you heard him right here on The Blend. Thank you so much. We'll be right back after these messages.